Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. I got a question from one of my buddies about somebody he knows that actually contributed more than they should have to their IRA because you are limited to $6,000 per year and $6,000 for your spouse and an additional $10,000 if you're 50 or older. Now, if you think that you're smart and you can game the system and put extra money in your Roth or your traditional IRA, oops, I put $200,000 in there. Just give me the tax break anyway. That's not how it works. You are a bad, bad boy, and you should be ashamed for committing such a terrible sin and trying to exploit the tax system. Now, most brokerages show you how much you've contributed so far and how close you are to your limit. So, I mean, I'm half joking here, but just be very careful with how much you contribute to your IRA because the IRS is not going to give you a freebie. They're going to want their money back, and you're going to get penalized until you take your freaking money out. So here we go. I'm going to go on the Vanguard website, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do if you have contributed more than you should have to your IRA. And of course, if it gets really complicated, go see a practicing CPA, a tax CPA preferably. I'm a CPA, but I don't work all day in tax, okay? So there's probably these little rules and details you have to be careful of. So let's go check this out. So on the Vanguard website, they actually lay out very, very clearly what to do if you have excess contributions to your IRA. And bottom line, you need to take them out. So there's a couple times where you can realize that you've contributed too much to your IRA. Let's say you contributed $7,000 to your 2020 Roth IRA and you're under 50. Well, in that case, you have an extra $1,000 that you contributed that you shouldn't have, and you need to get it out. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. So here's what happens. If you discover the error before you file your tax return, you can withdraw the excess contributions plus their earnings by your tax filing deadline, which is usually April 15th. But I think they extended it this year. I think they did to 2021. So for the 2020 tax year, you get to put in $6,000 if you're under 50. If you put in any more, you have till the next year, April 15th, to take the freaking money out. Then you don't have to worry about any penalties. So at the end of the year, please freaking check your IRA and make sure you didn't put extra money into it. And if you did, the first thing you need to do is call your broker and explain what happened and have them walk you through. But you're going to be fine as long as you withdraw the excess contributions by April 15th of the following year and the earnings, because they're not going to allow you to get 4 months of tax-free growth and then be able to keep it in there. That's BS. So it's the contribution and the earnings, and your broker can help you figure that out. Now, let's say you file your taxes and you're like, oops, I just realized that I over-contributed to my IRA. Well, you actually have an additional 6 months to take all that stuff out up till October 15th. And you'll have to submit an amended tax return, which is a big hassle. So for the love of God, check your IRAs at the end of the year and make sure you haven't contributed too many. And if you have, or too much money, and if you have, call your broker and get it fixed. Because the last thing you want to do, you file your taxes, you get your tax refund, you're like, oh, I'm done with taxes, thank God. And then you're like, uh-oh, I put more money in than I should have. And boom, now you got to deal with an amended tax return, which means you have to basically pay somebody to redo your taxes with the change. So don't freaking do that. Now, let's say you don't discover it until after October 15th. So now you've just missed every freaking deadline. Well, guess what? You actually get penalized in the following year. Look at this. You'll remove the excess once discovered, even after October 15th. You'll need to reduce next year's contribution by the excess amount. For example, if your limit is $6,000, which most people are, and you exceed it by $1,500, you can offset the excess by limiting your contributions to $4,500 the following year. So basically, if you do it after October 15th, if I'm reading this correctly, not only do you have to take the money out, but you actually you're not able to put as much money into your next year's contributions. So you're getting double screwed. So please check your IRAs, all right? And if you don't correct it at all, you just leave it in there, whatever, they'll never catch me. They're going to freaking catch you. and they're actually going to get their money back because you'll have to pay a 6% penalty each year until the excess is absorbed or corrected. So you're not going to get any kind of freebies from the IRS. They will catch you eventually. So if you know you've contributed more than you should have, maybe on purpose or maybe on accident, call your broker immediately and ask them what you need to do. And be prepared to potentially pay some penalties or get screwed over. That's just the case. Now, just to be very clear, if you want to make sure you don't over contribute, you can either put in $6,000 at once, or you can put in $500 a month. And no matter what, if you're putting in $500 a month, you're not going to go over your limit. But just be very careful. You should at least check your IRA like once every quarter and make sure that you're not contributing too much. Like Fidelity actually breaks out for you exactly how much you've contributed by year. And I like it because you can't screw it up. So just be very careful. So you're able to take the money out. You're going to have to pay back any, or, take out any earnings on top of that. And if you wait too long, you're going to have to pay a 6% penalty until it's all absorbed. So please be very, very careful. Okay. Now, I think that's it for that question. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell button, send me an email if you have any questions, and you guys have a wonderful night.